Imagine getting a huge pay raise tomorrow, yet somehow feeling even more stressed about money 5 years later? Impossible? It happens every single day because earning more money doesn't automatically teach anyone how to build lasting wealth successfully. In fact, many high-income professionals quietly live paycheck to paycheck despite earning salaries most people only dream about. Meanwhile, someone earning half as much slowly becomes financially independent without looking rich or living an extravagant lifestyle whatsoever. So what separates these two people isn't intelligence, luck, or talent. It's something surprisingly ordinary that anyone can learn. Today, we're opening those 4 doors together, one simple money rule at a time, without confusing financial jargon whatsoever. But first, let me introduce 2 people whose financial journeys begin exactly the same yet end dramatically differently years later. Meet Alex and Sarah. They're both 26, earn $60,000 annually, and recently received identical promotions at work. They graduated together, share similar ambitions, and even started adulthood with nearly identical savings inside their bank accounts. On paper, predicting their financial futures should be impossible because every measurable advantage appears perfectly balanced between both individuals. Yet one simple difference quietly changes everything, although neither of them notices it during those first exciting working years. Alex celebrates every promotion by upgrading his lifestyle because success, in his mind, deserves visible rewards and recognition immediately. Sarah celebrates differently by increasing her automatic investments before spending even a single extra dollar from every raise. At first glance, Alex clearly appears more successful because everyone naturally notices expensive lifestyles before quietly growing investment portfolios over time. And that's exactly where most people make their biggest financial mistake, confusing visible wealth with actual long-term financial security entirely. If Alex and Sarah earned exactly the same income, why did they make completely different financial decisions from the very beginning? The answer wasn't hidden inside their bank accounts. It was hidden inside beliefs they developed long before earning paychecks. Money habits rarely appear overnight. They're quietly built through thousands of conversations, observations, and experiences during childhood and adolescence together. Alex grew up believing success should always look impressive because appearances often mattered more than long-term financial stability. Sarah learned something different. She watched her parents quietly celebrate saving before spending, even when nobody else noticed their discipline. Neither family was wealthy, yet both unknowingly passed completely different money stories to their children through everyday actions and conversations. Years later, those invisible stories quietly influenced purchases, investments, confidence, and nearly every financial decision they continued making. Psychologists call these subconscious beliefs money scripts because they automatically influence behavior before logic even joins the conversation at all. Imagine driving somewhere familiar while barely remembering the journey because your brain simply switched into automatic behavior mode. Money decisions often work exactly the same way, repeating habits automatically until someone consciously decides to interrupt the pattern permanently. Alex never questioned rewarding himself after every achievement because that behavior felt completely normal throughout his entire adult life naturally. Sarah celebrated promotions too, but she rewarded her future before rewarding herself with additional lifestyle upgrades every single time. Here's the fascinating part. Both genuinely believed they were making smart financial decisions because each followed familiar lifelong habits consistently. One path focused on looking successful today, while the other quietly concentrated on becoming financially secure for tomorrow instead. Before changing your financial future, you must first identify the invisible money story quietly directing your everyday decisions behind the scenes. 3 years passed quickly. Alex earned more than ever before, yet somehow his bank balance kept shrinking every month. Sarah's salary increased too, yet she never worried about unexpected bills because every paycheck already had a clear purpose. The surprising difference wasn't income. It was what happened during the first 10 minutes after every payday arrived each month. Most people think budgets restrict freedom, but the opposite is actually true when they're built around intentional spending priorities first. Imagine hiring 50 employees without assigning responsibilities. They would stay busy all day, yet accomplish almost nothing meaningful together. Money behaves exactly the same way because dollars without clear jobs usually disappear before accomplishing anything valuable for your future. Sarah understood one simple principle. Every paycheck received instructions before she spent even a single dollar from it. Alex did the opposite. He spent first, saved whatever remained, and usually discovered almost nothing was left afterward anyway. That tiny difference sounds harmless today, yet repeated hundreds of times, it quietly transforms entire financial futures over many years. Financial freedom rarely depends on one dramatic decision. Instead, it grows from hundreds of ordinary decisions repeated consistently over decades. One budgeting framework has helped millions simplify money decisions without tracking every coffee, sandwich, or small daily purchase obsessively anymore. It's called the 50-30-20 rule because it organizes income into 3 incredibly simple financial priorities everyone easily understands. 50% covers life's essentials, ensuring your foundation stays stable before focusing on enjoyment or long-term financial growth strategies. 30% gives you complete permission to enjoy life guilt-free because fun belongs inside every sustainable financial plan too. The remaining 20% quietly builds tomorrow through investing, emergency savings, retirement contributions, and eliminating expensive consumer debt completely. Even the smartest budget fails if small, invisible expenses quietly drain your money before you ever notice they're happening. Streaming subscriptions, forgotten memberships, impulse purchases, and delivery fees rarely feel expensive until they're added together every single month. Imagine carrying one tiny pebble inside your backpack every day. Eventually, that harmless weight becomes almost impossible to ignore anymore. Small financial leaks work exactly like those pebbles because consistency multiplies both good habits and bad ones over time equally. That's why wealthy people regularly review spending, not because they're cheap, but because every dollar deserves meaningful purpose and direction. By year 5, Alex owned a luxury car, designer furniture, and expensive gadgets, yet something quietly wasn't adding up financially. His lifestyle looked impressive online, but every beautiful purchase came attached to another monthly payment demanding constant attention. Sarah drove an older car and rented a smaller apartment, giving strangers little reason to envy her lifestyle choices. What nobody noticed was Sarah sleeping peacefully every night because she never worried about overwhelming monthly repayments or interest. Here's something many people misunderstand. Debt itself isn't always dangerous. The real danger depends entirely on how it's being used. Imagine hiring an employee who earns money for your business, compared with one who constantly empties your cash register instead. Good debt helps create future wealth because it finances assets capable of increasing value or generating reliable long-term income consistently. Bad debt usually purchases things losing value while charging expensive interest for the privilege of owning them temporarily instead. Alex unknowingly collected liabilities that demanded money every month without producing anything valuable in return for his financial future. Sarah focused on buying assets first because she wanted money flowing toward her instead of permanently flowing away forever. Think about a fruit tree. You can either keep buying apples forever or eventually own the tree itself instead. Assets behave like that fruit tree because they continue producing value long after your original purchase has been forgotten completely. Liabilities usually do the opposite, demanding continuous payments while becoming less valuable with every passing year of ownership instead. That's why wealthy people ask one important question before spending anything: will this purchase pay me back eventually somehow? That single question completely changes how every future purchase is evaluated, regardless of someone's income or financial background today. Meanwhile, Alex noticed something worrying. Every salary increase somehow disappeared faster than the previous one despite earning substantially more money. This phenomenon has a name: lifestyle inflation, where spending quietly expands until it completely matches increasing income levels automatically. Without realizing it, Alex became trapped inside a financial treadmill running faster while never actually reaching lasting financial freedom whatsoever. Sarah experienced salary increases too, but she increased investments first, allowing her future wealth to grow before lifestyle expenses expanded. That quiet habit became the turning point neither Alex nor anyone around him recognized until many years had already passed. By year 10, something incredible happened. The gap between Alex and Sarah suddenly started growing much faster than anyone expected. Neither received an enormous inheritance. Neither won the lottery. Their salaries remained surprisingly close throughout the entire decade together. The difference came from one invisible employee working 24 hours every day without ever asking for a salary or vacation. That employee is called compound interest, and it's probably the closest thing money has to genuine magic in reality. Imagine rolling a tiny snowball downhill. At first, it barely grows, making the effort seem almost completely pointless initially. But as the snowball continues rolling, it gathers more snow, becoming dramatically larger without requiring much additional effort from you. Investing behaves exactly the same way because your returns eventually begin generating additional returns entirely on their own automatically. During the first few years, Sarah's portfolio hardly looked impressive, causing friends to underestimate her financial progress completely. Alex couldn't understand why Sarah avoided expensive upgrades despite earning almost exactly the same annual salary as he did. What Alex never realized was Sarah wasn't sacrificing happiness. She was simply purchasing freedom much earlier than everyone else. Meanwhile, inflation quietly worked against Alex every single year, making idle cash lose purchasing power without asking anyone's permission whatsoever. Think of inflation like termites inside a wooden house. You rarely notice them until serious structural damage suddenly appears. Money sitting inside ordinary accounts often grows slower than inflation, meaning you're quietly becoming poorer despite saving consistently every month. Sarah understood this early, choosing investments designed to outpace inflation instead of allowing purchasing power gradually disappear over decades. She wasn't trying to beat the market, she simply refused to let inflation quietly beat her instead over time. The best investors aren't fortune tellers. They're ordinary people allowing extraordinary amounts of time to quietly multiply consistent decisions together. That's why waiting for the perfect moment usually becomes the most expensive financial mistake beginners unknowingly make throughout their investing journey. Starting imperfectly today almost always beats waiting perfectly until tomorrow because time rewards action more than flawless planning ever could. Sarah didn't invest huge amounts. She invested consistently, allowing discipline to outperform excitement year after remarkable year without interruption completely. And without realizing it, Sarah crossed the point where her money started working harder than she ever physically could. 20 years passed faster than either Alex or Sarah expected, and their financial lives barely resembled where they originally started. Both worked hard, both earned promotions, both experienced setbacks, yet their financial futures couldn't have looked more different eventually. Alex's impressive lifestyle slowly became difficult to maintain because every financial commitment demanded another piece of his monthly income. Despite earning significantly more than before, he constantly felt one unexpected emergency away from serious financial stress and uncertainty. Sarah's lifestyle remained comfortable rather than extravagant, but something remarkable had quietly happened behind the scenes during those 20 years. Her investments generated income, her emergency fund protected surprises, and her financial decisions created confidence instead of constant anxiety daily. Money no longer controlled Sarah's decisions because she had patiently built systems, allowing wealth to quietly support her everyday life. The biggest surprise wasn't Sarah becoming wealthy. It was how ordinary her journey looked while she was building everything patiently. There were no viral investment tips, risky gambles, or overnight success stories hiding anywhere inside her financial journey whatsoever. Instead, she repeated small, intelligent decisions until those ordinary habits produced extraordinary long-term financial results almost effortlessly over time together. Here's the lesson many people completely miss. Wealth grows quietly while attention usually follows expensive lifestyles instead of disciplined financial habits. Real wealth often looks surprisingly boring because financial security rarely needs expensive symbols to prove its existence publicly every day. Meanwhile, pretending to look wealthy often becomes one of the fastest ways to permanently delay actually becoming financially independent yourself. The 4 money rules never promised instant riches. They promised something much more valuable: lasting financial freedom through consistent, intentional choices. Those rules worked because they changed behavior first, allowing numbers to improve naturally as a consequence over many years together. Remember, money is simply a tool. The real goal has always been creating choices, confidence, freedom, and genuine peace instead. Because the richest person isn't necessarily earning the most, it's often the person needing the least to feel completely fulfilled. Financial success isn't measured by what people notice today, but by the opportunities your decisions quietly create tomorrow for everyone. Every paycheck gives you another opportunity to choose which future version of yourself you're building, one decision at a time. The question isn't whether money changes lives. The question is whether your habits allow money to change yours positively forever. Now here's the surprising part. Neither Alex nor Sarah possessed secret knowledge unavailable to ordinary people around them daily. The biggest difference was consistency, because small decisions quietly repeated thousands of times eventually shape extraordinary financial outcomes for everyone. Every financial habit you repeat today becomes the invisible architect designing tomorrow's opportunities, confidence, and personal freedom without anyone noticing. Most people search endlessly for investment secrets, while ignoring the everyday behaviors creating wealth quietly behind every successful financial story. The truth is beautifully simple. Wealth usually grows slowly enough that impatient people completely overlook its remarkable long-term transformation happening silently. If you only remember one lesson today, remember this: systems consistently outperform motivation almost every single time in finance. Motivation disappears after difficult days, but well-designed financial systems continue working quietly, whether you're inspired or completely exhausted emotionally today. That's exactly why automation became Sarah's greatest financial advantage, instead of relying entirely upon daily willpower and self-control forever. Successful investing isn't exciting most days. It's wonderfully ordinary, repetitive, predictable, and surprisingly boring for very good reasons indeed. Ironically, boring financial habits often create exciting futures because stability gives opportunities room to naturally multiply over decades ahead. Imagine meeting your future self 20 years from today. What financial decisions would that person thank you for making now? Perhaps it wasn't earning another promotion. Maybe it was simply investing consistently before increasing your lifestyle with every pay rise. Perhaps financial peace begins the moment you finally stop comparing your journey with someone else's expensive-looking lifestyle and possessions completely. Remember, comparison usually measures appearances, while wealth quietly measures freedom, flexibility, security, and opportunities hidden beneath the surface every day. The greatest financial victories rarely receive applause because they're happening silently inside investment accounts and thoughtful everyday decisions instead. Real confidence comes from knowing unexpected emergencies won't completely destroy years of careful financial progress and disciplined planning you've achieved. That's the true purpose of money, not impressing strangers, but creating options when life becomes wonderfully unpredictable or unexpectedly difficult someday ahead. Every dollar you intentionally direct today becomes another employee quietly working toward the life you're trying to build tomorrow together. Your income matters, but your habits determine whether that income becomes temporary comfort or permanent financial independence over the years. And that's exactly why mastering these 4 money rules changes far more than your bank account. It changes your entire future completely. Alex and Sarah's story isn't really about them. It's about the financial choices each of us makes every single day. The good news is, your financial story isn't finished. Every new paycheck gives you another opportunity to rewrite your future. No matter where you're starting today, the next decision matters far more than the mistakes you've already made before. Forget chasing shortcuts. Wealth usually grows from patience, consistency, and simple habits repeated long after excitement begins fading away naturally. Remember our first question? Why did identical incomes create completely different futures? Now you finally know the complete answer today. Income opened the door, but mindset, budgeting, debt management, and investing determined who actually walked through it successfully together. Those 4 rules aren't complicated because real wealth rarely depends upon complexity. It depends upon consistent execution every single month. Imagine applying just one of these rules this week. 1 year from now, your future self would notice immediately. Imagine applying all 4 consistently for 20 years. That's how ordinary people quietly become financially extraordinary without anyone realizing it. Financial freedom isn't reserved for millionaires. It's built one intentional decision, one paycheck, and one habit at a time patiently. Before you leave, ask yourself one honest question. Which money rule needs your attention the most, starting today personally? Maybe it's finally creating a budget. Maybe it's paying off debt. Maybe it's opening your very first investment account. Whatever your answer is, don't wait for perfect timing, because perfect timing rarely arrives for anyone pursuing meaningful financial goals. Future wealth is created by action, not intention. The smallest step today always beats the biggest plan postponed indefinitely forever. If this video changed how you think about money, then it's already done something far more valuable than entertainment alone today. My goal isn't simply helping you earn more. It's helping you build a life where money creates genuine freedom every day. Every week on Emma Invests, we'll uncover practical strategies that transform complicated financial concepts into simple actions anyone can actually follow. If you're serious about becoming financially confident, subscribe now and continue building your wealth journey together with this growing community. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Which of these 4 money rules will you start applying first after watching today? Thank you for spending these moments with me. Until next time, keep investing in yourself because you're your greatest asset.